The National News Desk, locally covered, nationally connected.
This is the most amount of money that any government has ever saved on planet Earth in a piece of legislation. Ever. It's a very important first start. Elon is missing it.
Trump's big, beautiful bill attacked by his own party. The strong words from Elon Musk about the legislation being reviewed in the Senate right now. And biological males winning over the weekend in girls track. The potential blowback for some states and what President Donald Trump says will happen next. And then following the first disturbance off the coast of Florida, what could be the first named storm just as hurricane season begins. This is the National News Desk, America's News. Now, we are glad you are here with us. I'm Dee Dee Gatton, and we begin with the family of Mohammed Solomon, the man arrested for the Boulder terror attack on the Jewish community, who has been taken into immigration custody. Solomon is an Egyptian national and was living in the U.S. illegally after overstaying his visa. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says they are not only being readied for deportation, but are being investigated as accomplices.
Now, Mohammed's despicable actions will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But we're also investigating to what extent his family knew about this horrific attack, if they had any knowledge of it, or if they provided support to it.
And the Associated Press reports that at least 3 of the 12 victims remain hospitalized with burn injuries. They were taking part in their weekly marches, calling for the release of the final hostages still being held in Gaza for more than 600 days. The latest information on the suspect right now, he has since been charged with a federal hate crime. As you can see right there, 16 counts of attempted murder. He did not enter a plea and is being held on a $10 million bond. He is due back in court Thursday afternoon. Anti-Semitic attacks like the one in Boulder, as well as the murder of 2 Israeli embassy staffers in Washington, D.C. last month, are being felt in Jewish communities across the country. Regina Sassoon-Friedland with the American Jewish Committee in Seattle told the National News Desk that every event they hold needs to have armed security, and that is their daily reality.
Sadly, this is something that people shouldn't just become numb to this. This should not be socially acceptable hate and discrimination. This is Pride Month. I mean, imagine if you did this to a targeted group of people that were gay, people that were trans, any group of others. There would be quite an outrage going on, and there's very little said about doing this.
We will continue to track all of the developments on this story. We'll have coverage for you both air and online at thenationaldesk.com. A federal judge has ruled against the Trump administration and says the Federal Bureau of Prisons must continue providing hormone therapy and social accommodations to hundreds of transgender inmates across the country. That same judge in February temporarily blocked President Trump's executive order to move all biologically male federal inmates out of female prisons. Fresh off the victories of a biological male at the California Track and Field Championships, President Trump says on True Social there he will impose large-scale fines on California. He says they were warned, and California was not the only state with Title IX violations in the track finals. In Washington state, transgender athlete Veronica Garcia won the girls' 400-meter dash state title. And then this video here is from the Oregon Track and Field Finals over the weekend, where 2 girls refused to take the podium with a male competitor who won their event. Alexa Anderson was one of the athletes who stepped off the podium in protest. She says it's not about hate, it's about fairness in girls' sports.
I just want everyone to know that this isn't just about me or the other girl that stepped down. It's about the girl in 9th place who should have had a place on that podium. It's about the girl who didn't qualify for state because they were beat by a biological male in districts. It's about the integrity and fairness of women's sports and the fact that if we allow biological males to continue competing in women's sports, we're invalidating all the work that women have done to get us fair and equal competition.
The Trump administration is ditching Pride Month to reverse what it calls the weaponization of Title IX under the Biden administration, and instead will celebrate Title IX Month. In a statement, Education Secretary Linda McMahon wrote, the department is recognizing June as Title IX Month to honor women's hard-earned civil rights and demonstrate the Trump administration's unwavering commitment to restoring them to the fullest extent of the law. Republican senators plan to meet tomorrow to discuss possible edits to President Trump's One Big Beautiful bill passed by the House. This is according to Politico. Some GOP senators are concerned about its effect on the national debt. The Senate committees are expected to begin releasing their parts of the bill this week. The mega bill will likely reach the Senate floor near the end of the month. But right now, President Trump wants Congress to pass other legislation yet to be debated to cut more spending. But even that is getting GOP pushback. The National News Desk, Atra El-Nashar, has the latest on this and new criticism from Elon Musk about the president's legislative agenda.
Thank you, Elon.
Elon Musk may be stepping away from Washington, but the Trump administration's plans to slash federal spending, in some cases entire programs and agencies, continue. President Trump sending lawmakers a formal request to undo $9.4 billion in federal spending Congress already approved for NPR, PBS, and foreign aid. This type of request can pass with simple majorities, which Republicans have in both the House and Senate.
I'd like to turn it around as quickly as possible.
Senate Democratic leadership says the cuts amount to the president pursuing political retribution to appease the most right-wing factions. Last fall, Musk originally set DOJ's spending cut goal at $2 trillion. It's since been shaved down to about $160 billion. So these requested cuts from the president, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul says, are a drop in the bucket.
This is very, very small. To put it in perspective, if the deficit this year is $2.2 trillion, if you cut $9 billion, the deficit's going to be $2.191 trillion. It really doesn't materially change the course of the country.
Paul says he'll still support it, calling it low-hanging fruit. House Speaker Mike Johnson expects more to come.
I think there may be multiple packages, rescissions packages coming, and we'll process them as quickly as we can. I mean, it's a big priority for me.
Another top priority for Johnson is passage of what's known as Republicans' One Big Beautiful bill, full of the president's domestic priorities. Its price tag expected to eclipse the work of DOJ. Musk posting Tuesday, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it." Now, the White House says Musk's comment does not change the president's opinion of the legislation, and they continue to deny assessments that the bill will add trillions to the debt over time.
But those are really strong words, obviously. How are Republicans reacting to what Musk said?
Well, there is a small handful of Republicans who agree with Musk on what the so-called Big Beautiful bill will do to the national debt, and they're backing him up on social media. But GOP leadership is having none of it. House Speaker Mike Johnson just said, with all due respect, my friend Elon is terribly wrong. And Johnson said he was actually very surprised that Musk said this. They just spoke on the phone yesterday about the bill. Now, congressional Democrats, on the other hand, are pretty thrilled about this because they've now got Musk, of all people, delivering their message for them.
Yeah, right. A big voice there. Live from Washington, D.C., Atra El-Nashar, thank you. New Orleans law enforcement have searched the home they believe this video you see right here was posted in. A man who claims to be fugitive Antoine Massie, one of the 10 who escaped from a New Orleans prison 2.5 weeks ago, posted this video on Instagram and then deleted it. In the video, he asked for help to clear his name after he is back in custody. He is wanted for rape. He says he did not commit. Meantime, authorities in New York, they are searching for a 5-year-old who fell into a river in Rochester. Now, police say the boy was walking on a bridge with his mother and a sibling on Sunday when he climbed over the railing before anyone could stop him. His mother ran along the river bank to catch up to him, but lost sight. Anyone with information is urged to call 911. Dozens of people are in custody in Oregon after police busted a large retail theft operation in the Portland area. The arrests were part of an ongoing effort to tackle a problem that costs retailers millions of dollars a year. The National News Desk, Victor Park, is following this story.
Video from Gresham Police shows a man carelessly running across all lanes of traffic, dodging cars as they narrowly miss him. Police eventually catch up to the suspect before making an arrest. This is part of a large-scale retail theft operation called National Blitz Day, a coordinated effort between multiple agencies and Gresham Police.
What we know is that 640 cases of shoplifting were reported in 2024. However, we know it's vastly underreported because retailers a lot of times don't have time to make those reports.
Portland police arresting 36 people. They say more than a dozen had warrants. Police finding guns, clothing, and groceries.
But the majority of what we're looking to combat is organized retail theft.
Investigators say criminals steal items that can easily be sold for cash on the secondary market or returned to stores for a refund. Police emphasizing that these missions help preserve the viability of retail businesses.
It's important for our Gresham residents to know that we're doing our jobs. We're making sure that they're able to have good places to shop.
The result, stores like Fred Meyer no longer need an armed security guard checking receipts.
Then they're saying, hey, look, we no longer need to do this. So that's saving the retailer money, which is overall probably saving, costs for the consumer.
3 people are safe after a single-engine plane crash near Vero Beach, Florida last night. The Indian River County Sheriff's Office says multiple agencies helped rescue them. As you can see in that video right there, a helicopter saw the survivors in the water and directed rescue boats there. They were taken to a Coast Guard station nearby. Federal officials are now investigating. Newark Mayor Ros Baraka is suing interim U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, Alina Habba, over his arrest at an immigration detention center last month. You'll remember this video here. Baraka, whose trespassing charge has been dismissed, claims the arrest was driven by political malice. It comes as Baraka is running for New Jersey governor. Early primary voting began today. Habba did not immediately comment on the lawsuit. Day 15 of Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial has wrapped up. Today, a former finance executive for Combs, Derek Ferguson, said he never witnessed Combs commit any crimes. Former Intercontinental Hotel security officer Eddie Garcia testified that Combs gave him $100,000 in exchange for video of Combs assaulting his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Tomorrow, a forensic video expert and an accuser are expected to testify. Coming up, the state's at risk tonight for damaging winds, large hail, and unhealthy levels of air pollution. Then, the evolving treatment methods that are helping more cancer patients live beyond a diagnosis. Then, what a Florida man did when he saw an alligator swimming in his backyard pool. Just imagine. We'll be right back. Breaking news right now as we come back on the air. The National Weather Service says a tornado warning is active right now over Perry and Norman, Oklahoma. You can see the very active weather system right there behind me. Several tornado warnings, in fact, have been put out this afternoon as a line of storm cells are being felt all the way north past Green Bay, Wisconsin. Tornado watches in effect over parts of Kansas and Missouri. That is until at least 8 p.m. tonight. Of course, we will continue to follow these storms throughout the evening for you. Also in Minnesota, as we pull this graph up right here, the western part of Wisconsin, also severe air quality alerts reaching unhealthy levels for all people today. Smoke from out of control wildfires in Canada has been flowing south. Unhealthy levels for sensitive groups detected in and around St. Louis. Elevated levels of toxins in the air registered as far south as Jacksonville, Florida, and Brownsville, Texas. As we look ahead, it is officially hurricane season in the Atlantic, and the National Hurricane Center is now following the first tropical disturbance of 2025 off the coast of Florida. However, this system has just a 10% chance of development over the next week. Right now, still, meteorologists are urging residents along the coast to stay on alert. Heavy rain, minor coastal flooding, and rough surf are expected beginning later this week. We are tracking it all. President Trump's Justice Department is opening an investigation into former President Joe Biden, this time targeting his pardon power. The National News Desk, Matt Gelka reports from Washington.
The Justice Department plans on looking at some of former President Joe Biden's pardons during the last days of his presidency. Reuters reports the DOJ's investigation will center around whether Biden was competent and whether others were taking advantage of him through use of auto pen or other means.
I think the auto pen is going to become one of the great scandals of all time.
The president has made repeated unfounded claims about the use of an auto pen to affix Biden's signature to policies he wasn't aware of, as questions about the former president's mental fitness have been amplified.
Americans saw with their own eyes a mentally incompetent president, and they want answers for that.
Just before Trump took office, Biden issued dozens of pardons and also preemptively pardoned some family members, including his brother James and his son Hunter, dating back to 2014. He was looking to shield them from politically motivated retribution. The investigation will focus on the family pardons, along with clemency granted to some death row inmates. The DOJ's investigation escalates the claims about Biden's mental fitness. DOJ pardon attorney Ed Martin said last month that pardons need to withstand scrutiny.
I happen to think the pardon power is plenary. If you use the auto pen for a pardon power, I don't think that that's necessarily a problem. But the question is, how did this happen?
A 2005 memo from the DOJ outlines that the use of an auto pen by a president is legal. Biden allies have dismissed claims that the former president was incapable of making his own decisions while in office.
There needs to be a record that they've told someone to use the auto pen. And if there's not a record of that, that creates a crisis for our government, and that's certainly fair game for DOJ to investigate.
Legal scholars agree that pardons can't be overturned if they're valid. The DOJ's investigation could end up getting drawn out, and the courts may decide just how far they can go. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka for the National News Desk, America's News Now.
The job market could be showing underlying strength in the face of economic uncertainty. New data shows the number of available jobs increased last month from 7.2 million to 7.4. Economists had expected them to drop for the third month. The report also found that hiring increased, but there was a significant jump in layoffs. It is National Cancer Survivors Month, and more patients across the country are beating their forms of cancer. Medical reporter Liz Bona shares how personalized treatment is leading to more people living beyond a diagnosis.
Hey there, everybody. Those surviving, especially long-term, say they want to highlight outcomes that are changing lives, often in very personal ways.
They did a biopsy out of a lump in my neck, and I went into the surgeon that did it, and he gave me the news. I mean, it's pretty earth-shattering when you get it.
More than a decade ago, Brant Carrick was treated with chemotherapy for a cancer of the immune system.
It went away, so I was happy about that until I was diagnosed with MDS, which is a form of blood cancer.
A bone marrow transplant. Now, however, has this musician cancer-free.
Just living day to day and, appreciating life.
Life isn't something many here at this survivor celebration at Kentucky's St. Elizabeth Young Family Cancer Center say they take for granted. Providers remind us.
You're not in it alone. We're all here to work with you, and we'll keep the communication, the collaboration going as you go through this journey.
The journey now able to be customized to your needs with the help of targeted radiation and medication due to what's called precision medicine.
Precision medicine is finding mutations or proteins in an individual's body that suggests that certain drugs can be used to treat that patient not only most effectively, but with the least side effects.
This not only reduces the odds of recurrence.
Right now, I'll be on pills probably at least 5 years, maybe the rest of my life, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep fighting.
It also helps pinpoint early screening recommendations.
It's been repeated a million times, but do those self-exams, and if you suspect something, get to your doctor right away, because I think we caught mine early on enough.
All of this customized care, of course, allows you to treat not a cancer, but a person, which for survivors means
you learn to appreciate life, not sweat the small things so much anymore. Don't let a lot of things bother you anymore. Just move forward.
The goal, of course, is not only that this personalized medicine leads to more lives saved, but good quality time in the many years that follow. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
Don't sweat the small stuff, some good perspective. Coming up next year, the unique way Utah is trying to prevent teachers from leaving because of housing costs. We'll be right back after this. We have reporters all across the country in your neighborhoods covering issues that matter to you. We're taking the pulse of America. And we start in Florida, where a couple saw an unexpected guest in their private pool.
It was supposed to be just another peaceful Saturday morning, filled with sunshine and coffee for Jim Voorhees and his wife Karen. But that took a splashing turn when they came face to face with an uninvited guest at their Pinecrest Lakes home. It all started around 8 in the morning when Jim says he heard a strange noise in his backyard. He took a look and didn't see anything. But around 11 a.m., it was a different story.
We saw something in the pool. I thought it was one of the big palm fronds. Sometimes they break off and blow in the pool. Took a little closer look, and it was an alligator.
Voorhees immediately called the Martin County Sheriff's Office, who called in a gator trapper. But Mr. Gator wasn't going out without a fight, twisting, turning, playing tug of war, and putting up a tense tussle with trappers. In the end, the snappy reptile was wrangled and removed.
A moment of celebration. Now a bittersweet memory for the family of Timmy Howard.
A positive, upbeat, kind,
quiet soul.
He graduated from URI in May with a degree in communication studies and had a summer internship all lined up.
He was on the cusp of living his life.
Days later, after a late-night snack at home contaminated with peanuts, he was gone.
He came in and woke us up and said that he couldn't breathe. And at that point, it unfolded very quickly.
They did everything right, administering his EpiPen and calling 911. But it was too late. The Howard family is making it their mission to use his death for good.
We don't know how many times he's had it or not had it, but, we just want to bring awareness to make sure everyone reads labels and, really looks at the ingredients.
Thousands of teachers in the Granite School District earn a living in one of the most expensive housing markets in Utah.
Cost of living is a real concern.
The school district is seeing fewer students, in part because young families just can't afford to buy a home. So as the district closes schools, leaders are considering turning old campuses into employee housing instead of selling the land to private developers. The district is considering a feasibility study and employee survey on the issue. This at a time when Superintendent Ben Horsley says most new teachers are coming in from out of state.
You're trying to get every advantage you can to attract and retain the highest quality educators you can.
Coming up, the states where you have another chance to catch a glimpse of the Northern Lights tonight. We'll be right back. As we come back on the air, some states may continue to catch a rare view of the Northern Lights tonight. They were spotted in Michigan, Minnesota, Iowa, and a few other states in the past couple of nights. There is a small chance some pockets of Washington, Idaho, and North Dakota could see sweeps of the lights tonight. NOAA says a recent solar flare from a magnetic storm is bringing the view to more locations. That's going to do it for us for this edition of the National News Desk. We invite you to join us again tonight as we continue to follow the active tornado threats in Oklahoma making their way to Missouri. I'm Dee Dee Gap. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tonight at 10.